Hey guys, this is a YouTube channel that focuses on teaching high yield medicine concept under 2 minutes, or at least I try to teach it under 2 minutes. So today we'll be talking about twin pregnancy. So before we go into twin pregnancy, you have to understand two different terminologies, which are chorion and amnion. So what is chorion? What is amnion? First we need to understand that. So chorion is nothing but the outermost layer of many mammals, reptiles. So it's not just humans who have chorion, it's also like mammalian fetuses, other mammal fetuses, reptile fetuses also have chorion. It's basically the outermost layer in which fetus is present. So if this is the fetus, the outermost layer is going to be chorion. Alright, then what is amnion? So we all have heard about this thing called as amniotic fluid. Basically amniotic fluid is the fluid that's present in the amnion. So amnion is a layer that is within the chorion and that contains amniotic fluid, and the function of this amnion is to protect the fetus from mechanical shock, mechanical injuries and stuff. So if a girl is pregnant and she's like moving around, she's doing exercise or anything, the thing that's protecting her baby when she's moving around and stuff, that is amnion. So this is amnion. So based on this chorion and amnion, twins could be uh, dichorionic, diamnio, diamnionic, which means two chorion, two amnion, or monochorionic and monoamnionic, or different variations of monochorionic, diamnionic, monochorionic, monoamnionic, different variations. So first we'll go to this thing called as monozygotic twins or dizygotic twins. So if there are two zygotes, it's called a dizygotic twin. One zygote, one zygotic twin, monozygotic twin. So two zygotes are formed by when there is a two sperm cells fertilizing two egg cells. This is an egg cell, this is an egg cell. This fertilizes this fertilizes this. So there are basically two sperms fertilizing two eggs at one given moment of time, and then the pregnancy of these two. So this is a fetus, a separate fetus, this is a separate fetus. It goes on in the same time, that's called as dizygotic twins. It's basically two different zygote, two different beings. And monozygotic twin is when one sperm fuses with one egg, and at some moment of time this divides and gives rise to two different fetuses and two different babies. Okay, so that is dizygotic twins. Now first, like, let's clear the simpler one, which is the two zygotic dizygotic twins. Okay, dizygotic I mean. So since it is two sperms and two eggs, their baby could be of same sex or different sex. Okay, so if you see in a question that somebody has a twin pregnancy and one twin is a male, one twin is a female, that means that the pregnancy is definitely dizygotic pregnancy. It is not monozygotic. Okay, so and most dizygotic pregnancies have dichorion, which means, and diamnion. This is the most likely combination, which means both the babies have their own chorion and their own amnion. Okay, now let's move on to monozygotic pregnancy. So we'll go to monozygotic pregnancy. So there's one sperm, one egg, they fuse and give rise to this morula. Morula would give rise to a blastocyst, and that will undergo this thing, implantation and all that stuff, and further division and all that stuff. So at some point of time this has to divide into two different beings. Now depending on when it divides. Does it divide in the first 4 days, or it divides in the 4 to 8 days? That decides the fate of the amnion and the chorion. Suppose the division occurs in the first 4 days. After fertilization, within the first 4 days, if the division occurs, it will give rise to a dichorionic, which means both the baby will get their own chorion, and since they get their own chorion, they get their own amnion. So first 4 days, it's gonna give you a diamnionic pregnancy. If it's the 4 to 8 days, the division fails to occur in the first 4 days, it occurs a bit late, 4 to 8 days, it gives rise to a single chorion, which means one chorion but two different amnions, which means like the babies are in a single chorion. If this is a chorion, this is a single chorion, and then there's one fetus here and one fetus here, and this fetus has his own amniotic fluid, this fetus has his own amniotic fluid. So two different amniotic fluid. And by the way, this is the most common presentation of a monozygotic twin. Okay, if the division fails to occur even in the first 8 days, and it occurs somewhere between 8 to 12 days, then the baby is gonna have one chorion and one amnion, which means the baby is gonna be something like this. It's gonna be like in a single chorion, in a single amnion, there are gonna be two babies. This is one baby, this is one baby, two babies, and is gonna share the amniotic fluid together. And this is a very high risky situation, because this could lead to high fetal death. Remember, it's fetal death because they both are in a single fluid. They both are basically in a single fluid, and they both have their own cords, and these cords can undergo entanglement, and it can lead to fetal death. So this is a very high risky pregnancy. And suppose if there is no division even in the first 12 days, and it goes after 12 days, after 13 days it's gonna be single chorion, single amnion, and the most important thing is it's gonna be definitely be conjoined twins, conjoined pregnancy. So so it's gonna be somewhat like this way. I'll draw it for you. This is a chorion. In this there's the amnion, and this is the amnion, and in the amniotic fluid there's one baby, and the other baby is kind of like joined to this. And both are joined, that leads to a conjoined pregnancy. So if you know this concept of chorion and amnion, you're gonna be able to answer most of the questions, since most of the questions try to confuse you in this area. So I guess that's it. Bye bye.